Hey guys, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit quiet because Robert is sleeping over in the next room, but it is 11 o'clock on Tuesday night and I have an hour before Battle of the Bookish finally starts again. I'm so excited, you guys. You have no idea. First of all, though, I want to show you guys this really cool stuff that I got in the mail today. This is not everything I got from this shop, but it's a few of the things I did. So there's this shop called Acorn and Crow Studio. I'll leave the link for their Etsy store down below in the description, but I got some awesome stickers and I got 2 journals, one of which is only right here. But now I need to switch out my battery because my battery's gonna die. Of course it is. What's new? First of all, one of the notebooks I got was this D20 journal. It's basically like a small little notebook and it has craft paper on the inside that is a dot grid, so basically you could use this for a like small bullet journal of sorts. But I love this design. This design was made by the owner of this shop and look how pretty that is. And like it's got this beautiful like blue and black rose design background, and then on the inside flap it's kind of more of a sepia, and then it says the adventures of, and then you can put your name right there. Oh, there's so many of these on that store. These sell out so fast that I was so excited to be able to like finally get my hands on some of these. I actually got this, I bought this a couple weeks ago, like about the early to middle of May, and then about this last paycheck, I think I got a couple more things because they did a restock, but their stuff sells out so quick, and I found them through TikTok. And then these are some of the stickers that I found. I have a couple that are already on the back of my laptop, which is currently actually exporting the footage from last week's vlog, but these are all created by the owner as well. And this says pumpkin bitch juice because I am nothing if not a whore for Halloween. Then this one that says tired of your shit, which I think is very much the energy I'm going for anymore. And then there's a little planchette that says dead inside. And then we have this one, which is one of my favorites. It's an imposter syndrome ticket, which I always have. I have such bad imposter syndrome, it's ridiculous. They also made this wonderful ruby and like pink lily sticker, which is it's a part of the birthstone collection. So I got that because I am born in July, so mine is a ruby. And then this Depresso Espresso, I have a notebook that is this design coming to me. Sorry, that's my timer going off. This coming in a couple weeks. I have another package coming in with more notebooks and stickers and bookmarks, and I'm so excited. And then this one is like my favorite thing that they've ever made. It is a natural one roll from a D20, and it says roll for mental health, because this is how I feel like my mental health has been for so long. So I got a couple other ones, like I said, that I'll show later, but and then they sent out this beautiful little like thank you card, and there's a sticker that comes with this as well that is on my laptop already, but it's like a shiny like holographic almost looking version of this sunflower coffin. But that is the information. Go ahead and pause if you'd like to check them out. I will, like I said, leave their link in the description, but I found them through TikTok, and their TikTok unboxing videos of like packaging their stuff is so freaking adorable. If you are a fan of like gremlin kinds of people and chaotic energy, like Fowl and their team are like the place to go because their boxing videos are so entertaining. I just love them. And I have another one of these coming in with my next order, which should hopefully get here in a couple weeks, but it is for the rogue character, so it's a little bit more of a darker tone. I have 3 or 4 bookmarks coming in, and I think I have at least one more notebook. I can actually look up my order because now I can't remember exactly what I bought. So I found the other order that I placed, and I have 3 bookmarks coming, the Depresso Espresso notebook that matches the sticker I have, and then the Rogue of the D20 class dot grid notebooks, which I'm so excited for because if you don't know anything about me, my character for the Realmathon stuff is a wizard. Like, she's like, looking at it from a class standing, she's an elven wizard, but the Rogue one I specifically got because it reminds me so much of Liam O'Brien's character Vax'ildan from the Legend of Vox Machina series. Like, that entire aesthetic of that dot grid notebook is Vax'ildan to a T, and he is like my favorite character out of the entirety of Critical Role so far. So, but then I got the Red Rose, Sepia Rose, and the Yellow and Black Moon crystal bookmarks, which I'm so excited for because I get 3 new very nicely made bookmarks, and so I can't wait. I got to my reading goal for tonight before starting Battle of the Bookish, which this is not going to count for anything Battle of the Bookish because this will have been more than 25% completed by the time it starts. If you start anything with less than 25% of it read at the beginning of the readathon, then you can use it for your points, but this will not count for that. So I won't even get like page points or anything for this because I started it like back in Wednesday or Thursday, I think, according to the blog I just edited. But I'm on part 4, I'm on page 415, so I am getting so close to the end of this. I have 2 full parts of this left, and then I have the epilogue, so I've got like 3 sections of this book left to finish, and it's gonna be like another 340 some pages, I think, 330, something like that. So it's not very much, but it's going to still take me some time to get through this. So I think that my goal is that obviously by the end of the week getting this done, but then also getting through the Arithmetist. I did manage to get a lot of audiobooks through Libby on my phone, so I think that what I'm going to start off with is getting through the audiobooks the best I can and trying to track my progress with the physical books. But obviously if that's not working, I'll try to do like the doubling of the audiobook with the physical book like I've been doing. But I wasn't able to get the audiobook for this, unfortunately, which is why I've been reading it physically and why it's been taking me a lot more time to do that. Like, my video is done exporting, so I need to go and get that uploaded. So basically I'm just gonna get this vlog uploaded and scheduled for on Saturday, and then I have to get my May wrap up edited tomorrow night so that I can get that scheduled out for Thursday, because Saturday I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be at a wedding, so I'm not going to really be able to do much filming for most of the weekend, basically like Friday or Saturday. Friday night we have the rehearsal and stuff, so I'm not going to be able to do much for that. Saturday is the wedding, and then Sunday I have no idea what we're going to be doing in terms of like if we're all going to go get out for breakfast or whatever. So basically Friday to Sunday I am out in terms of like I have no idea like what I will be doing in terms of like reading or anything. So I gotta go, I gotta stop jabbering. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
I met an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out a notepad and wrote something for me. Then he kept walking on down the road, and I watched him disappear like smoke.
Good morning, everybody. It is now just after 8:15 in the morning on the first day of Battle of the Bookish. Yay! And also Dessertathon if you're participating, which I am. So happy first day of the readathon to everybody. Already before I even got up this morning, we had somebody who sent in their first prompt for Middle Earth, which is super exciting. That was super awesome. I still have yet to put it in, but I'm going to here in a few minutes. But I want to give you guys a bit of a rundown of how exactly these vlogs are going to go, just because I didn't really get a chance to mention it last night. But there are a lot of things happening around the Ash household that are going to be changing. So first and foremost is the fact that I'm going to be trying to take a little bit more time every day to do some of my practice, my witchy practice, because I've been the last few months really taking a step back because it was becoming a little much, but I have a plan set up of every day doing some kind of small thing in addition to my daily studying of my witch books, reading on the Norse mythology and other mythologies of the deities that I worship, and then also my therapy work and my daily tarot reading and stuff. Every day there's going to be a little bit extra something that I'm going to do that is going to benefit me in my practice, which today, with it being the first of the month, is a great time to blow cinnamon in your front door. If you're not familiar, cinnamon is a very wonderful spice, herb, whatever you want to call it, that helps kind of aid in prosperity. Hi, Oscar. And abundance. Oscar is raring to go this morning. He's so excited. He wants to play like nobody's business because he's in such a good mood, aren't you, buddy? What a lot of witches do on the first of the month is they blow it in their doorstep to encourage, you know, prosperity and abundance and wealth to come through the door. And a lot of times there's people that will do spells with it as well. Like they'll say something to encourage and bring intent into the practice. I am a believer that intent is important. I don't believe it is always everything. I do believe that the ingredients you use in your spell work are also therefore imbued with some kind of intent because you are using them for a specific purpose. And intent definitely will help in terms of getting you where you want to go, but it isn't always 100% everything because some people can't vocalize the intent that they are looking for, but they know exactly what the ingredients are. I am a very low energy witch, I find, because of the fact that I have so many things going on in my life and in my head that it's hard for me to put 100% energy into something. So a lot of times what I do is a little bit more low energy. But that is just as valid. If you don't have all of the energy of the world every single day to do your spell work, that is fine because nobody's path is 100% the same. Most of what I will say this month is going to be is a lot of shadow work, a lot of journaling, because I have a lot I need to process through, a lot to divulge that I've been needing to for a long time that I've kind of been putting off. And so it's a great month for me to really get into that with us moving from Gemini season into Cancer season here later this month. Because if you guys don't know, I am a Cancer. My birthday is July 8th. So I feel like it's a perfect opportunity for me this month with going into Cancer season at the end of the month for me to get some stuff done with that. In addition, this month, my husband and I are going to be basically doing a lot of house cleaning and stuff. My husband and I are going to basically get into this kind of routine that we hope will work, where every day we work on something in the house. Now, here in June, there's going to be some bigger projects that are going to be coming in basically to help clean up and, in a sense, like spring/summer clean the house, basically getting rid of a lot of things we don't need, getting rid of a lot of things that, you know, we don't use anymore, that kind of stuff. Like that's going to be a lot of the focus for this month. But the goal then basically is for the months there out that every day we would still work on something to clean up the house in terms of like bigger areas, bigger projects, organizing things, stuff like that. What's going to make it a lot more interesting too is as opposed to just going down a list and kind of like doing certain things above others, it's going to be completely randomized to make it a little bit more fun, make it a little bit easier, and honestly just give us more of an opportunity to spend a little bit more time together and doing something that's going to help the both of us mentally, which is to have the house cleaned up a little bit more and having some of the clutter that we don't really need put away. Because Robert and I have been talking a lot about how we do have a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of things that we just don't use that we do need to figure out what to get rid of. So we're gonna try our best to every day be able to clean up the house a little bit. There's gonna be a day this week though, because we have the wedding this weekend, that we're going to basically be doing multiple things in the course of the day. So I think it's Thursday we're going to clean like 3 or 4 different things because of the fact that we're going to be gone for most of this weekend with the wedding that we're going to. So there's that. But I am very excited to see how that whole thing goes. I don't know whether or not, you know, it's going to turn out exactly how I planned, but I figured that starting off this month with kind of these two main goals of getting a little bit more of my witchy practice in every day and every evening with my husband after dinner before going to do something like editing videos or something, I spend some time with him and mentally help myself and him by doing something to clean up the house a little bit. Even if it's a small thing, even if it's just, sweeping up the floors, stuff like that, it'll be enough. And then, on top of that, getting laundry done when it needs to be done, doing the dishes about every day, those are kind of the same things as normal. It's just now we're adding on a little bit of a smaller project, or in some cases a bigger project, depending on what exactly we end up pulling. Like there's a couple things where, we have to go through the clothes that he and I both have and like figure out what doesn't fit anymore, what we need to get rid of, things that we haven't worn in forever, what can we possibly stow away for a little bit, that kind of stuff. Then, also there's my library upstairs. One of my bigger projects is I want to go through the closet that's upstairs in the library because it is just full of random stuff that I either need to throw away or I need to figure out something to do with because I don't know what to do with it. It's all just kind of in a pile and it's kind of encroaching on the walking space from the door to the library in. There's things like that that I really need to get the ball rolling with to feel like I can have a little bit more, clarity in terms of the fact that my space is clear. When my space is clear, I feel a lot better. I feel like everything's a little bit more in balance and I feel like I can definitely, handle things a little bit easier. It is 11:15, almost. It's like 10:40, but I have a meeting in 20 minutes and I want to get something done before that meeting. First of all, I'm going to take my coffee cup and put it in the sink because I am done with my coffee. We're going to run upstairs really quick and grab my cinnamon so that I can blow cinnamon in the front door because I've yet to do that today and I would like to do it on this break from work. And Oscar's decided he's going to come join us. So fun fact, I also do believe I may have a critter up here somewhere that is hiding because I found out that when leaving offerings for my guides, something was getting into him. And I think it was possibly a mouse. I've not seen said mouse. I have not found very many droppings from said mouse, so I don't know where they are, but nonetheless, there is one here. So, ground cinnamon is the easiest way to go about this because it's powder and you're blowing it into the door. So, easiest thing to do, you can get literally ground cinnamon at your local grocery store. You don't have to have like the cinnamon sticks or anything and grind them up or nothing. Like this is one of the easiest things you can do. So, what I'm gonna do is basically take a little bit and put it in my hand and we're gonna blow it into the door. Stay put. Bubba, get back. And it's as simple as that. Now, if you do have pets like I do, like I have Oscar, and you're worried about, cinnamon being something that they can't have, it's actually very healthy for them. So, I wouldn't suggest too much because it could obviously make their stomachs upset, but blowing it into the doorway is not going to harm them. And even if they eat it up off the floor, like the dust that's on the floor, it's fine. The intent is still there. the purpose of using the ground cinnamon is still there. So super easy, super simple way to get your month started off well in your practice, if this is what you choose to do. And with that, my witchy practice for the day is done. That was the only thing I really wanted to focus on today, was making sure that I did that. And then that way, since I've done all my studying and everything, I can focus on other things during my breaks. We're gonna cross off some stuff on my list, which is very exciting. I like being able to cross things off on my list. I would also like to be able to journal at some point today, basically just kind of talking about, I think today in terms of abundance, prosperity. I do have some issues with spending money, so I think it's going to be very important for me today not only to kind of focus on some of the intentions I want to go into this month with, but also today I will be talking with my husband about, you know, our monthly budget stuff, what are we going into, you know, how much we're going to be spending with our bills and stuff, so that we can kind of start figuring out, you know, pattern-wise how much we're spending, what we need to focus on, things like that. And what are some team goals that we have as a team, as a couple, that we want to like save up for? What are things that we really want to work towards? Like, I have a lot of personal goals. I, you know, have some money saved up now to get my tattoos for my birthday. After that's done, I want to save up money for, you know, various things like more tattoos. I would like to maybe eventually get a MacBook if that's possible. I would like to eventually get a new camera. This one works perfectly fine, but I would like a nicer kind of more DSLR based camera if I can, and then have this as like more of a vlogging camera. Stuff like that, like kind of just, I want to start actually actively making progress towards the goals that I have money wise. And I have known for a long time that what I typically do to cope with my anxiety and cope with the things that stress me out is by buying Kindle books, buying books in general. So if I do buy any, I'm going to reserve it for books that are for things like book clubs. So like Princess's Book Club, that's the only book that I will buy from here on out, unless I have to buy some for like read-alongs that I'm doing, that I'm actively participating in, so I have a reason to go get these books kind of thing. And like, they're ones that even if I don't like them, you know, I'll be happy to have had my own physical copy of it to work through, and if I sell it back to a used bookstore, so be it, kind of thing. But kind of reserving my money spent on books to things that I'm actively going to be participating in makes more sense to me than just buying a crap ton of books for basically no reason. And I just feel like this is going to be the best way for me to kind of try to limit that. And then on top of it, limiting how much we eat out. Robert and I did buy pizza last night because it was way too hot to use the stove. It was almost 90 degrees yesterday. And the house was nice and cool thanks to the air conditioner we just got. But, you know, it was still pretty toasty. So I was not really up to making food in a very hot house. And so we ordered pizza instead, which I'm gonna continue eating for my lunch today. But with that being said, we do need to limit how much we, you know, order food, how much we eat out, because that is another way that he and I tend to cope with things that we're struggling with, is we will order comfort foods. We will order food because it's more convenient. We don't have to do anything, and that adds up after some time. So the plan is to go about that a little differently. Other things I would like to do today, other than doing the cleaning project for the day, is I do want to get my library updated once again. I want to go through my library spreadsheet every day this month as much as I can, with the exception of like this weekend and basically tomorrow on Thursday, getting through like a few different sections, basically going alphabetically by the author last name and updating from my physical library and my Kindle library, because I don't believe I've added anything to Audible in terms of the books I've purchased on Audible, but you know, I'll check that obviously as well to make sure. So that's kind of my goals for right now. So I feel very good about being able to get my practice for the day done. And then the only other thing I want to do in terms of my practice is journal at some point, which I probably will do during my lunch. I think I might do some journaling during my lunch and kind of just explore the reasons why buying books for me is my comfort. What is it about the buying of the books that brings me comfort, and how can I find that comfort in things that don't require me to spend money? I know I can use the library, that's always an option, and I do use the library a lot through my Libby app to get the audiobooks of books that I'm working on, but I don't typically go to the library as often for things that are physical. So, you know, that might be something to look into in the future. But for how things are going now, I don't really have much of a need to look at the physical books because I have so many of my own that I'm still trying to work through. So it's mostly being reserved for things that are like audiobooks, because if I have the audiobook for a physical book that I'm working on, it makes the experience of reading the physical book a lot better. Okay, so we are freshly laundered, ate lunch, did my journal entry, feeling great. I was feeling great beforehand, but I feel able to get through the rest of the day, which is great. It's going on 1 o'clock right now. I don't have any more meetings today, which is nice, and I do have a little bit of work I need to do. So I'm going to mostly focus on that for probably the rest of the afternoon. But the good thing is that I got through everything I wanted to get done before this evening, before dinner time, which is great. So that means that after dinner, I just have to do all that stuff with my husband that I want to do, and then kind of go from there. I think on my breaks, what I will be doing from here on out is working through Hero of Ages, try to get some of that read because I haven't had a chance to with getting some other stuff done beforehand. So yeah, looking pretty good for today. I'm gonna hold off on figuring out what exactly Robert and I are going to clean until after we have dinner and when we're ready to go ahead and do our cleaning stuff, and then we'll see kind of where we start off with. I have a lot of stuff on this list, and some of it is smaller things, some of it not so small things. We'll see how we start off this month. It's gonna be interesting to say the least. Hey y'all, so it is going on 4:45. I'm almost done with my work day. I don't really have much else to do for tonight, but it turns out my husband is not going to be home after work or anything. He actually has a company party that I forgot they were doing this week that he is helping set up, and he said that more than likely what's going to happen is he's going to help finish setting that up, come home, grab Oscar, and then take Oscar to that party so everybody can see him, and also get him to interact with more people, you know, get him to socialize more. We try to find every opportunity we can to be able to socialize him in spaces where he's available to go, because we can't really take him to like the grocery store very often because he's not in training of any kind to be a support animal, so most stores won't just let him in randomly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to then do stuff on my own, probably for most of the evening. He's gonna be probably eating dinner there. I'm gonna obviously make dinner still for myself, but I think I'm gonna do my cleaning on my own tonight, which is fine. I have no issue with it. I just had totally forgotten that he was going to have that party. So I pulled up a random number generator on my phone and I set it from 1 to 31 to get us going with the cleaning stuff. I'm just gonna go to my page I have here, and we are going to say generate, and we got number 10, which number 10 is cleaning my altars. So basically just organizing them, making sure that everything is together, and actually creating a new space for 2 of my deities, because I have 2 deities that are sharing the same space, and I would like to change that where they each have their own space, and then creating also another space for my other deity. And I'm going to go upstairs actually before I make dinner and do that, because it won't take me too long to rearrange everything, just making sure that like everything's clean, everything is, you know, taken care of. I'm probably gonna also take the cloths off of my altar to go and get them washed and put them in the washer, stuff like that, so that they are cleaned up, and then we will go from there. So for right now though, I'm gonna mark that the altars have been done for this month. Also, while I had some time during one of my breaks, I did manage to get all of the A's done for my library spreadsheet. Didn't have to add too much, thankfully, to that, but I'm going to be willing to bet that when I get to closer to the middle of the alphabet, I'm gonna have more things to put in. But the A's are done, all taken care of, so I don't have to worry about that. I think once I get the altars cleaned up, I'm gonna kind of decide from there what I want to do, whether I want to get dinner started right then, which I probably will, or get through a couple other things. But either way, after I eat dinner, I'm going to more than likely get to editing my May wrap up. And I would like to still also be able to get through Hero of Ages, so I think I'm gonna alternate after dinner with the working reading sprints that I normally do. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my day here, and then we will go upstairs and clean off the altars and make space for my deities. So, very excited. Let's get this started. Okay, we are done with work. We have an Oscar upstairs who's going to be a good boy, I hope. But we're gonna clean this up. So this is the current state of my altar. You can see it is a little messy. Basically, some things are just not organized properly. I need to, like I said, take these altar cloths off and go put them in the washer and wash them. Basically, this is where I would like one of my deities to go, and then I have another spot that I would like to put another deity in. These are books here that are basically stories pertaining to my deities. The pantheons they are from, a lot of Norse stuff right now, because my main deity that I work with is Freya, and then I also have Loki, but then I have Bastet, who is Egyptian, and I am still in the process of finding some Egyptian mythology books. So if you have any recommendations for Egyptian mythology books, please let me know. But for right now, basically what I'd like to do is, like I said, clean up all this stuff, reorganize everything, get Bastet's stuff moved over to here, and then I'm gonna put Loki up here. So that's the plan. Most of the stuff here is all pretty much organized. These 2 totes things here need to be put away somehow. This is like all my planting stuff that I already did stuff with, so I don't have to do anything with them now. I just need to put them in a new place. But like, I also have some stuff up here that I used from a spell that I did several weeks ago that needed to be put away. And I also decided I'm going to do a money bowl. So I grabbed a few cards that I would like to use for the money bowl. So once I can get the altars cleaned up, then I will be making a money bowl, because we're going to add to the abundance and prosperity. Also, this is the cat skull notebook I was talking about last night that I got. This I'm going to be using for my work with Freya, because Freya is well known to work with cats. I could also use this for Bastet, but I'd like to have a separate notebook for Bastet, which I will find out what that is when I find it. This one just called to me for Freya. I couldn't say no. And I think it's so cool. This is from that Acorn and Crow studio as well. So it's super nice. Love it. While I'm also here, I'm going to light my incense and candles for my deities to show respect, because I'm in their space. This is partially their doing, kicking me in the ass to finally do something about my space. So I'm gonna light their candles as an offering and thank them for their time in their space. I'm going to keep their candles off of their stuff though, so I'm gonna basically have them on my bookshelves, but the first one I have is for Lady Freya. She has a butterscotch scented candle that she really loves that's almost out, but we have plenty more for her to choose from later. I also have up here one of Loki's candles. He has a cinnamon spiced vanilla that he really likes, so we're gonna light that. And there we go, nice big flame. He's very happy to see me, apparently. We're gonna put that down so I don't accidentally burn myself. And I have not lit a candle for Bastet really ever because I didn't have really the room to place a candle for her. But I'm gonna light one of the ones she really, really wants me to. So it is this lavender marshmallow one. The scents are not really gonna affect me all that much because I don't really smell them at all while they're burning. So I'm gonna light this one for Lady Bastet. And there we go. Nice strong flames coming in. Usually tells me that they're happy. So I'm gonna put this one over by Freya. And from there, I was gonna light incense, but actually I don't think I'm gonna need to. I'm just gonna have their candles going and we're gonna get started with cleaning up the altar back here. This is a little bit more of an organized mass of things, but all of Freya's stuff is here. This is my main workspace as she is my main deity. And then I have a small selection of things for Bastet. And yes, Loki has a giant stuffed snake because my sister said he needed one and he was very happy with it. So that is basically it. They each have their own set of candles. Obviously, Bastet has a few. Loki has a select few because there's not really many candles I can find that like are scents that he likes. But Freya has a very large stash of candles because she's been the one I've worked with the most and for the longest amount of time. So she has accumulated the most amount of candles. These are all marked for her. But it is now going on about 5:30, so I want to still make my money bowl, but I'm going to do that off camera because I would like to keep that a little bit more private for me. So I'm just going to put some stuff together, get, you know, the working all together and make my prayer, and we'll go from there. Good morning, everybody. It is going on 10:30 in the morning. I have been quite busy. I've been trying to obviously do my work. I'm getting ready to basically go on a break right now, and I've been trying to organize my day in terms of what to do, because today I need to get a lot of stuff done so that Friday after I get done with work I don't have to do very much, and we can head out to the wedding rehearsal and stuff. So I have a lot on my plate today, but I did already figure out what things I'm going to be doing in terms of cleaning. 2 things I'm going to have Robert do, because one involves cleaning the car, but he has just gone off to work because he's got a very kind of different day today than what he normally does, which then also means he's not going to get home until probably later. And then I'm also going to have him clean up the kitchen in terms of going through some of the food we have and deciding whether or not like the pantry stuff, like the pasta that's been sitting around for God knows how long since we started up with HelloFresh again, rice, packets of things that we never really use, going through like the cupboards and basically cleaning that stuff up, going through the freezer, making sure the stuff in there needs to be, you know, what needs to be taken out, what needs to stay, kind of thing. So that is what I'm gonna have him do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the bottom of the dishwasher, which I'm gonna do actually before I run dishes this afternoon on my lunch. I'm gonna quickly get that taken care of because it's really just cleaning out the bottom of it to make sure that like anything that's stuck there is no longer there so that I can run properly. And then also running a load of dishes. And then I also need to clean off my desk, which I'm going to also do on my lunch so that I can get it done and out of the way, because truthfully what it comes down to is cleaning up the keyboards that I have and cleaning up a lot of the trash, or at least not trash, but sticky notes that are basically just everywhere that I've kind of used and then never really threw away after I was done with them. And then basically going through and dusting the desk itself. Today, in terms of my witchy practice, my main goal is I'd like to go outside and get the plants I have outside, basically take some of the herbs that I have been growing. There's quite a few of them that have enough to where I can take them off and basically provide more space for the rest of the plants. And I also would like to maybe repot my sunflowers because they are not necessarily dying. It's just like, I think that they're a little overcrowded, so the flowers can't actually, you know, bud. It's just at this point the stems. So I don't know if maybe repotting them would be helpful. I'm gonna assume it will. And I think I may do the same with my daisies so that I can get those to grow a little bit bigger. Because basically like the stems, I think they don't have any more room to grow. So I think that if I put them in a bigger pot, each, that will make things a lot nicer. I did also, though, this morning get through the ebooks of the letter B authors from my Kindle, so that's all done. I still have to do C, D, and E for those, and then I still have to go through the physical library of B, C, D, and E tonight. So there's a lot of things I gotta do today, and then I still have to do my studying for my practice, and also I would like to do a journal prompt for the spell I did last night, talking about kind of the things I learned from it. I did a lot of questioning of my guides while the spell was going in terms of what can I expect. I didn't get a lot of answers, but I think it's because I need to trust the process, which that's going to be kind of what my journal entry is going to be about, is this idea of trusting the process of things and letting things kind of happen as they happen, as opposed to thinking I need to have a much more direct control of things, because that is one of the things that is a big part of my anxiety, is the fact that I feel like I need to have control of everything. I need to be in control of every single aspect of the process, whereas in honesty, I just need to do what I actually possibly can. Journal entry will also explore what exactly is it that I can control to allow myself the ability for things to come in easier for me. It really just boils down to not buying books really at all, even Kindle ones, and not ordering out nearly as much as we do, because I'm sure there's going to be days when we're going to have to, or, you know, we're going to be invited to go places. But I think the big thing is that if I really want to have control of what's going on, I need to be in control of myself and what I spend, which I don't typically. I typically kind of just have a little more chaoticness in terms of my spending habits, which is not good. If I want to have control of what's going on and promote a more prosperous and wealthy kind of situation, I have to be in control of my actual
spending habits, and I need to learn how to be in control of that. So I think that's kind of what the journal entry is going to be mostly about, is exploring, you know, this idea of trusting the process, and also, because I have to trust the process, looking at what exactly it is I can actually control, and what can I do to step up my game in terms of gaining that control. Now moving to my reading update, I did not get to my goal for last night, which was page 550. I am currently on page 491 though. I was actually, amazingly enough, invited to join in with Bree and Brandy. They are the hosts for the Brandon Sanderson Cosmere read-along that I've been doing for the last couple of months. They invited me to join in on their sprints. I was able to get a little bit of this read, but I mostly, during the first big sprint and a little bit of the second sprint that we did, I had been editing my May wrap up. There's a lot of things to do for today. I have a long list of things to do, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with all of it. First and foremost being that because I am on a break from work, I am going to go get changed into some actual clothes. I'm gonna go brush my hair, brush my teeth, wash my face, kind of get that ready for the day, and then I think I'm gonna continue with the ebooks for my library spreadsheet and get those done out of the way so that that's done. And then after that, obviously get to doing some work, but the next break after that will be doing the physical books of authors B through E over the course of the day, and somewhere in there obviously getting through more reading, and during my lunch, up the dishwasher, running the dishes, cleaning up the desk, and going to pick my plants, and also then repot the daisies and the sunflowers. After work, I'll get dinner made very quickly, and after dinner, I have to pack my bag for this weekend with like my dress for the wedding and everything that I'm gonna need for everything, so that Friday I can just wake up and be dressed and have everything taken care of, with the exception of like my bathroom stuff. The bathroom stuff I'll wait until after I've done everything I need to Friday morning, because that's usually how I work. And then basically from there, it'll just be whatever else I need to do. Okay, it is going on noon. Lunchtime has arrived. So before I eat though, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with some of the cleaning. First of all, before I even get started, I got a couple things in the mail that I'm very excited about. One of which is this like little lint roller thing I got off of Amazon. It's supposed to be just really good about getting like pet hair off of couches and stuff. My mom has a couple of these and said it works really well because Oscar is shedding like crazy. And on top of that, I got him this cool little like self-cleaning brush thing. It's got like a little button here that you press in to let the comb part come out. So while I'm outside today, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a quick brush just to get him some of his hair taken care of. And then another small thing I got was this 2-pack of these super cute little leaf tea strainers. There's like a yellow and a green one. I needed a new tea strainer, and these were like $7 I think for the 2 of them. But the most important thing that I got is in this box, and I can't show it as of yet because it's going to require assembly, and it's a little too cold for me to be able to actually put this out today. It's going to be cold for the next several days, but basically it is a small pool, like a kiddie pool, that we could put Oscar in when it gets super hot outside and he wants to be outside. This was like $50 on Amazon. It was actually on sale, so I grabbed it as soon as I could, because especially with how earlier this week it was super hot, and it would have been really nice to be able to have something to put him in to let him cool off. So we decided to grab that since it's getting really close to summertime here in Michigan. I mean, it's already June, which basically is like the start of summer out here. It's like late spring, so figured that was our best option. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna first clean up the dishwasher and get that going. I just gotta clean out the bottom of it basically, and then load the last of the dishes into that. And then we're gonna go outside and mess with the plants and stuff. Okay, now we're outside. I've left Oscar inside, but he can see me. Hi, Bubba. He likes sitting up there when we're outside because I don't trust him outside by himself when I'm busy doing something.
my camera died while I was out here, but I wanted to show you guys the herbs I have. These are all the ones I will be picking from today. I also have a lavender plant that has finally sprouted in a few places. And then this is my chamomile. Obviously, I'm not gonna pick any of this because the flowers haven't come in yet. But then these three are my problem children. For some reason, these guys do not want to sprout anything. I don't know if it's because they take longer or what, but these three, for some reason, have never sprouted. And I'm a little worried, but these babies are all the ones we are going to pick from so that I can use them in my spell work. This catnip has grown like freaking weeds, and I'm so happy about it. If you ever decide to work with the deity of Bastet, the cat goddess from Egyptian mythology, this is one of her most favorite things and is like one of the best things you could do to offer her, because she's a cat and cats like catnip. So this is what I grow specifically for her to give her as an offering when I work with her. By going through and picking it today to set out to dry is considered an offering in its own way, because when it comes to deity work and spirit work, it's the effort that really counts. You don't necessarily have to go out and do big, fantastic things all the time to offer things to your guides. Typically, one of the ways I like to do it is with like food and drink, but because now I realize I have a mouse upstairs that is likely getting into the food that I have up there for like offerings and stuff, that is no longer a viable option. But for Bastet, it's really easy because catnip, like I said, is one of the most basic ways you can, you know, make her happy. And when it comes to other guides and deities have different plants and herbs that you can Google that are great. For instance, Freyja, the Norse goddess, is a fan of rosemary. And I have a rosemary plant down here somewhere, this one of my problem children, and this one's not grown, and I'm not sure as to why. I think it's possible that it takes a much longer time for it to germinate and then sprout, but I don't know. I don't remember last year when I grew rosemary having this hard of a problem with it. But then again, most of my starter herbs that I had planted last summer ultimately didn't work out the way I wanted to, because some of them, you know, produced something, some of them didn't. The catnip, for some reason, seems to be the one that does the best for me. And I think it's just because it's a very easy to grow kind of plant. And really what I'm just trying to do is get as many of the big ones, the big leaves here as possible, because there's a ton of tiny little leaves you can see along the bottom. So I'm really just trying to get the ones that are like at the top of the stems that are bigger, so that we can have some more room to grow some of these other leaves. Now, as far as Loki, in terms of an herb, I want to say maybe sage is a really good one, but not like white sage that you would get from like native people and that you could use to like, that typically is used to cleanse homes. White sage is a closed practice, in my opinion, with native tribes, because it is a very hard to find plant. It is a very endangered plant for the native tribes, and they use it specifically for rituals and all kinds of things. And so it's something where like garden sage, like the one I have here, would be a better option. Garden sage is very easy to, you know, reproduce. It is, you know, typical in cooking, and so like it's a lot easier to get a hold of, and therefore a lot easier of a offering for Loki. I do believe sage is one of his. I could be wrong, but I thought that at one point I read that that was it. But I've also got some parsley here. This is the Italian dark green, and I'm running out of little bowls to put things in. So once I finish up these bowls, I'm gonna have to run back in and get some more for the rest of these plants. But I'm basically just gonna be getting all of the bigger leaves here. And once I get all of these picked, I'm gonna go ahead and water all my plants, especially now that I've repotted the daisies and the sunflowers. This is a much more bountiful year in terms of my herb production. Because like I said, last year, some of mine just did not seem to grow well at all. If they did grow, they grew and then very quickly died. And I'm not sure as to why. It is entirely possible it is because having my things out on my parents' back porch was not the best idea for some reason. I mean, I don't really know 100%, but having it out here compared to at my parents' house is much different. Different energy, maybe, not as many conflicting energies. You know, it could have been pretty much anything. This is my last little container that I brought out with me, so I'm going to go ahead and get this garden sage. Again, kind of going for the bigger leaves as much as I can. You always want to make sure that after some time, especially like if you've been growing your plants for like a couple of months now, almost like I have, that you go ahead like every little while when it gets to be a really crowded and pick from them, because it's going to help promote new growth. It's going to help with not overcrowding your plants and then therefore letting them die. I think part of the reason that my daisies and my sunflowers were starting to die is because they're a little overcrowded, and I actually could not fit all of the little daisies into that bigger pot because there was so much of them. There were so many stems of daisies that I couldn't fit all of it into that bigger container, so had to dispose of the rest of them. But that's fine. We still have a lot of daisies in there, and hopefully now those in the sunflowers will grow a little bit better now that they're not as crowded. I'm gonna get 3 more containers now so I can get to the last 3 of this. I have 2 dill plants and an oregano plant. I have a bouquet dill, and then I have the mammoth dill, which obviously there's a reason why it's called the mammoth dill. Gonna get the last of these, and then we're gonna go inside, get my watering can and water my plants, and then we'll be good. So I'm gonna call it there for right now, but I'll speak to you guys a little bit later when I have an update on how things are going.
So that's the end of cleaning up the desk. Basically just cleaning up a lot of the trash. That stuff is staying there because it's easiest to keep it right there. But yep, dusted it, cleaned up everything basically. That is gonna stay there because there's no room on the other side for it. Plus I only really need like 1 pen any given time. So we're just gonna keep that right there. But otherwise, we are done. Desk is clean. Now I just have to get Robert to do the 2 things he needs to do tonight.